Hello, welcome back everyone. The Exterminator is all but complete in my mind. There are some things that I really don't like about it there, like the cockpit needs some fine tuning, and there's also something amusing about it there. Pay close attention, if you please, to the back of the engine there. Because what happens when I go to alter design, apparently the engines are either changed size or something happened. Something's different because this center portion is completely invisible when I'm out of there. Isn't that a weird glitch? Weird bug for ya? It makes little sense to me and it changes the dynamic a little bit with the backside of the ship, but either way, both sides are pretty good. We got two massive cans for our phaser bays, our phaser pods, so I am looking forward to trying this out. Of course, as you always, I'm probably going to go back to it and change things a bit. I'm not probably going to stick with this cockpit at some point. But that's not the point of this video. It's time to gear it out. It's time to get it all figured out and ready to wage war for me. A war basically that's already won. So this is kind of all this effort, all this construction has been for nothing, it feels like. But hey. At least this ship is now going to be finished for anyone who may be interested in trying it or using it. The real question is how would I personally fit it out? I think obviously it's for a must I need to put some kind of good quality engines on there. I don't think I want to put two hyperwarp drives on there, to be honest, because really, we don't need to have this thing going 30 hexes, do we? It's supposed to be the harbinger of death. It's allowed to take its time. Although with 10 turn countdown there, it doesn't hurt to give it a little bit of speed just so I could see how it functions. And then obviously, the weapon of choice is going to be these phaser pods, which I'm just going to throw in the back front there when I get around to it. And they look pretty similar to the Illyrian beams. And they do the same damage even, so at least I know what to expect of them. They just operate the same as that, and these are the Duranium drivers. Interesting. They look like an actual turret you put on the base of the ship, so that's kind of cool. Don't know if I'm gonna get an opportunity to use them for my Guardians, mind you, but the real reason my pulverizers at least were so successful though, was because of all this amazing missile, or what? Not missile, but defenses that were put on it there that gave it such an amazing longevity and durability. And of course, the Exterminator is going to be no different. Although it helps if I go to the right section there. Gotta find my armor. There we are. And we got a lot of choices available to us. We got the Barrier Fields for 21 shield, Duranium composites for 17 armor, 18 technically, and 60 armor for ECM. I think it's because I got additional passive effects that make the barrier fields more stronger. Either way, we got a lot to work with. And although, to be honest, I would probably just balance it out there, but since there's like no point to, there's really no reason to have it all balanced out, I might just go with all shield barrier fields, because fighting against the Crimson Iconians, it makes it seem that much more overpowered, doesn't it? But just, yeah, for the sake of it, I was going to consider just throwing on the, at least all to balance out all the defenses there, just so I could at least show off what I would probably truly use it for. But what's the mass? Really, we got a lot of mass to work with here. The barrier fields are only like 6 mass there, 6 tons, whatever you want to call it. So we could slap a lot of these on here. And it'd be resilient as hell, I tell ya. Now I just gotta make sure everything's connected properly. And how many do I want to put on there? Is the other question, because we're gonna be getting doubles of everything practically. So it's gonna seem. So I need to make sure they're shrunk down and all that. We're gonna stick with 3 for now, because that would at least cover the one of each type. And we'll see if I want to put a second layer on. Otherwise, do I really care about them sticking out? It doesn't hurt. to say the least. Adds a little more cosmetics to it. It's not that big of a deal though. And we'll just shrink it down and see how much shield strength and power I can actually put in this thing. Obviously, since this is going to have so much reliance on its laser weaponry, I don't see why we can't have, where is it? The rapid recharge to go with it. In all seriousness, why not? Ooh, and we got a bunch of like missile effects here. Sadly, I have nothing for my beam lasers. I would love a second one. Like a second recharge to enhance it even further. That would be amazing. Now, where the hell do I put the rapid recharger? Hell, I'm kind of just tempted to slap it onto the side of these things, quite frankly. So that way, we can make it look like it's supercharging the laser a little bit. But do I want them that big? Where would be good to put them? Because I'm noticing a little bit of discrepancy here. Probably because of the engine component I put in the middle. It might need to be shrunk down a tiny bit. Oh, let's see. I can look at that afterwards, the final touches there. Especially for the refinement phase. But where do I want to put these rechargers? If it matters at all. It doesn't really matter at all, quite frankly. I just like a nice way to make it seem like it's connected with the lasers, though. Kind of supercharging them. Although technically they would probably be way back here, wouldn't they? That seems a little more realistic, considering it almost seems like the can runs through the entire length of the ship with the way it's designed. So I think I'm okay with that. Just gotta center it now. May possibly rotate it. I don't know if I want rotate or not. Yeah, what? Does it look better when it's upside down? No way to know. Not unless I fiddle with more, so I'll just leave it as is. Nothing too fancy. Just make sure it's sunk in there properly. And what about the rotations? All the rotations are good, perfect. And that's not too bad there. I think that works. Although I am starting to notice that tiny little gap there might need adjusting too. A lot of little tweaks and finishing touches I'll need to do before I upload on Steam. If nothing else. Now let's get to the real meat of this ship. How many phaser pods do I want to throw on here? For like 13 mass. Oh wait, never mind, that's damage. Oh. Oh, that's why everything went down, is because of the recharger. I was wondering why. 15 mass, 12 mass, 10 mass, so yeah. For like an additional 50% mass, I am doing like 6-7 times the damage, quite practically. Isn't that amazing? Ooh, I love these things already. They're going to be so ridiculous in power. Now I just got to make sure I get them connected to the right spot, which is going to be a bit of a problem, because it doesn't seem to want to cooperate. Alright, how many phases do I throw on there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think I'll leave it at 8 for now. That is a lot of laser power though. 108 damage with a rate of fire of... What's the rate of fire on here with the recharger? 3.5 seconds, so not bad. Not bad at all. Of course, they're already duplicated, so I can't duplicate them further, but what I think it was patched that in a way that doesn't work like that anymore, so I think that's okay. Do I even want these lasers to be sticking out? I don't think I honestly do. I like the idea of it just coming from the little channel right behind it there. Because it works so well with the pulverizer, why not do it with the Exterminator? I just hope I am not disappointed with how the visual effects work with these phaser pods, since they are like practically the second most powerful weapon in the game. I hope I'm not disappointed, because I have no idea if they have the same visuals as the Elerium beams or not, and I don't even know what the Elerium lasers look like anyway. So, hopefully I'm in for a nice treat. Let's see. And if I need to, if I have the mass for it, I can throw in a couple more. I'm probably more than likely going to throw a couple more, but what all utility stuff do I want to throw in there? I don't care about the scanners. Let's see. I could boost its targeting, although its accuracy is already 100%, 110% even, so it's almost not necessary unless I'm worried about them jamming. Which, considering the jamming arrays cost thulium, I don't think it's worthwhile. Unless I have the mass to spare, that's the only reason. 50 mass, not worth it. In my mind, it's not worth it. What else do I have access to? All these require Promethean, that's helpful. Thulium, Duranium. The repair field's always handy. I might want to throw one of that on there. Who am I kidding? It was gonna have like a balanced armor set up there to kind of give it the durability, so I don't think it needs a recharge at all or repair field. If anything, the Guardians and the Wasp that might be company would do that for me, if I were to be perfectly honest. And what are we looking at cost? Wow. Cost is already at 1,110. And we still got 50 mass left to throw in there. So let's throw it in. Although, whoop. Let me see, do I throw in our hyper warp drive in or not? Just for the sake of being able to get a lot out of it. To be honest, I want to just for fun try and throw this at the Iconians, since they have all those cruisers and that, to kind of like that are in the way. So I want to see how many Iconian ships this can obliterate, even with their shield defenses. So I think we're going to have fun with this. It's not enough to actually make this ship a reality. I want it to somehow demolish an entire armada against the odds. Probably with a couple of wasps to back it up just in case. For the extra durability. But other than that, I want this thing to do all the work. And we'll see how well that handles. It helps if I can get this to connect to the spot I want to connect to. It is not cooperating with me. Actually, do I want... Let me put the energy pods up on the corners here to add a little bit of a visual... a little aesthetic to this tip here. I like that idea. Need to scale it down a bit and do it again, of course, because they're not quad duplicates, so I have to do it one more time. But I think it works there. It works pretty well. Maybe floating a tiny bit though. I am not really don't really care too much about the finishing touches, but we'll try and make it look the part, if nothing else. Alright, scale is 38. So let's get one more barrier field on. Scale is 38, and then we'll try and get it in place. And if I remember correctly, angle was 35. Oh, and it's already practically in the perfect spot for me, so a little tweaking required, hopefully. That looks pretty good. So how many of those? We have 6 deflector shields on. So I think we're doing good. I don't know if I want to throw more on or not, but this thing is resilient. I don't think I need to say anything more. And we have enough room for maybe 1 or 2 more phaser pods, so let's put them on. This is pretty simple design, isn't it? Although, like I said, I probably would go half and half. I would probably have like 2 of each defense resistance effect. What do you call them? Defense modules, rather. Jeez, that took a long time to figure out, didn't it? I probably would have 2 of each defense module if the mass allowed for it to be fair. But this is a special exception. The Kryn are not going to stand a chance. The Iconians are sure to follow. And we managed to get 2 more phaser pods in. Perfect. I cannot object one bit. And holy crap, look at that manufacturing cost. Is that even possible to build before 10 turns? Who am I kidding? I know I can. Because I got ways to cheat this. So, Exterminator Mark 1, the first prototype version of the ship, and with its engines closed in again for some reason, is going to do some work. Now, let's see quickly about how I can get this thing built as quickly as possible. Now, Mithrander, where are you? You are going to be the one to do the work for me, hopefully. 4 turns. In 4 turns, we'll have this thing built. Do I dare look at how much it's going to cost to rush? I think we need more money.